We then proceeded at that point into our simulated countdown.
Lunchtime, kids! All right!
Yum, 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 yum.
Hello, friends. It's lunchtime.
And good afternoon. It is the lunch break on RNCN. Don't check your watches. Yes, we are starting late. I apologize. It is, what, 30, almost 40 minutes late, but that's all right. We're going to take the show however long it needs to go, which means we're going to go do about a 20-minute show. It's probably about as long as they need to go anyway.
Here.
In studio with me again today is Anna. Hello, Anna.
Hello, everybody. Happy Monday.
Yes, the three-peat with Christina. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Zach in the control booth. How's it going?
Hi.
All right.
You're glued to that seat, Zach.
You
You've been
know,
producing shows for a while.
It's your
now.
home.
This is what happens when you don't have time to read the articles in front of the show, that you end up just running it, because I don't know what we're talking about.
That's fine. I
Which
don't
is
either.
great. So yeah.
Actually, I do have something to talk about. Have any of you ever sold anything on eBay?
I did, but I never actually managed to get an offer.
Oh, so you put
so
something up.
Yes, I
So
did.
technically, no, you did never actually sell anything.
I didn't. I listed something I did not sell. guess it works.
I've done the same, oddly. I listed something once for like 2 days and then pulled it because somebody close to me actually wanted it instead. So
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Look at
Oh,
that.
that's nice.
That's sweet.
So
Wait,
no, none of us have ever sold in lesser words.
I don't think I have.
Yeah.
Have you bought anything on eBay? Has anybody used eBay
Yes,
on this in
I've
this room?
bought things on eBay before. Collector's items, things like that.
Oh,
Collector's
I
items.
bought actually a lens for my camera.
Okay.
So
I have sold, not personally, but I've actually gone to one of those we sell your stuff on eBay stores.
Ooh.
Oh,
Because those are a real thing, and I know people make fun of the idea because, like, why can't you just sell it? But as you experienced, you could put it up there and nobody would bid on it.
yeah.
What movie was that in? Like 40-Year-Old Virgin? or
Yes, it
something?
was.
Yeah,
it
okay.
was.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I was
yeah.
giving them business because I was moving out of an apartment into a house, and I was having to transition into being an adult. So that apparently meant getting rid of all my like die-cast cars that I had and other knickknacks and stuff that had been taking up shelf space. So I just threw them all in a box, and I was like, here. And it was so great because they took pictures of everything and they sold it, and I don't know, they took a little bit of a cut. They took like a quarter of it, but really,
yeah.
I mean, I got more. Rather than having to sell everything individually and then ship it, it was not a bad deal to
See,
me.
this is the difference between you and me. Your transition to an adult is you sell all your die-cast cars.
Right.
My transition to an adult is I like buy acrylic cases with lighting and I put them in there and like present them, and that's me being an adult.
I have managed to recollect many of the things that I had.
Looking back.
One gentleman decided to use eBay in a very interesting way. He put his girlfriend up for sale on eBay. His name is Dale.
Don't say that's great.
It is great. I agree. His name is Dale. He's 34. He's dating a woman named Kelly. They'd been together for about a year. And he put her up as used. He said used girlfriend for sale.
Oh,
Are they still together?
The description, well, we'll see. The description said some parts not working and a warning about a constant whining noise. He said her body work is fairly tidy, but close-up shows signs of wear, which is a little rough. He says that he put it up as just a gag. I mean, they were still together, and she looked at it and said, "Oh, that's funny," which good on her, I guess, to be able to roll with that because that's a little rough. Well, turns out people started bidding on her, and quickly Now this is this is coming out of the UK, so this amount is in pounds. perhaps you can translate for
Yes.
us. 70,000 pounds, that's like $140,000 more or less?
Yeah, it's more in dollars, yes.
Okay.
Probably, yeah. The 70, you can buy a house by that
Yeah,
amount.
sure,
Oh my
absolutely.
God.
Or a girlfriend.
So some people started bidding on it as a gag, but he did say, Dale says he did start getting what he might describe as creepy messages, like people asking for a test drive and things of that nature. I don't know. Ladies, would you stay with a guy who put you up for sale or would you like 100 or 70,000 pounds? That sounds all right. Like I'm gonna see what's up with this.
I would say, to be honest, I mean, if the guy is a joker and stuff like that, I guess that's funny. If a relationship can
Is it funny?
endure,
Is it?
can endure something like that, like I would like to know how his reaction how she will read his reaction to these moments when it's time to either close the auction or just or carry on this gag going. Like that's the thing, isn't
Right.
it? Like this is very funny, but kind of like, hang on a minute, let me see unfiltered where these leads him. That's the true
True test.
meaning of how do you actually look at this relationship. I just say that.
This is hilarious to me. I would think it's the funniest thing in the world. But then I would also do like a rebuttal ad for him, because she's got to get like
that's
her
a
say
mistake.
back on
That's
it.
bad.
Yeah.
Because when one of you gets more bids than the other, you'll never let that go. Yeah, that'll be horrible.
Well, to eBay's credit, they did take it down after it started. Like clearly, you're not.
Is
selling your
human
girlfriend.
trafficking not okay on eBay?
I guess
Is
not.
that-
I guess not. And she seemed to take it in stride. He said, I don't know how high it could have gone if it wasn't taken down. I was hoping it might go into the millions. And she said, what price would you have actually sold me for? Which is a dangerous question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, any man knows there's not a good answer to that question.
No.
That is a fight waiting to happen. But she said, if the new owner had that kind of money, and she might have had a better quality of life, so would have entertained the idea, perhaps. I feel like there are a couple of jokesters. At least I hope.
I guess so.
But yeah, selling your girlfriend on eBay. I don't think that's just something that I don't think I would ever even attempt.
I know every relationship's different, but like, man, you're in choppy waters when your girlfriend's like, really though, how much would you have sold me for?
Yeah.
Like that's a bad place to be.
Yeah,
I
no,
think.
you don't ever want to answer that question.
No.
You're priceless,
That's a
honey.
dangerous.
And honestly, this is gonna sound worse. If it's eBay, to me, that's like a funny gag. If it had been Craigslist, that's serious. Like that's no joke.
Right.
Yeah.
People are weird over there.
Yeah.
Like eBay's, hey, eBay, but Craigslist, my God.
That's
think-
like I'm
yeah.
dropping you off in a van.
I'm
think
meeting
the
somebody in the
messages-
Walmart parking lot.
The messages were bad on eBay. I can't even imagine the messages
My
you would get on
God.
The
Craigslist.
posts are bad on Craigslist.
That Craig character's no good.
Much less the direct messages. All right. We're going to take a quick break. I know it seems ridiculous taking a break for such a short show, but we're going to do it anyway because whatever. When we get back, a driving instructor teaches how easy it is to get a DWI. We'll have that coming up on the lunch break here on RNCN. I do have music. Let's go with this one. We'll be back shortly. Stick around.
Folks, now here's a story about Minnie the Moocher. She was a red-hot hoochie coocher. She was the roughest, the well. Hoddy, hoddy, ho. Hoddy, hoddy, ho. Hoddy, hoddy, hoddy. Hoddy, hoddy, hoddy. He-dee, he-dee, he. He-dee, he-dee. Hoddy, hoddy, ho. Hoddy, hoddy, ho. She messed around with a bloke named Smokey. She loved him though he was cokey.
All right, welcome back.
That's so good.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
break was awesome.
A follow-up to last Friday's St. James Infirmary. So
That's it.
a ghost walrus. I don't know how I feel about that. Sarah Strackhouse is joining us in the studio.
Yeah.
How are you, Sarah?
Good. How are you guys?
I'm doing great. I'm going to answer for the team. We're doing great.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Yes.
Everybody's
Good.
great.
Yes.
Before we get to your news, because I do want to get to your news.
Okay.
I did tease a story, and since you're here, we'll talk about it because this does come out of, I believe, New Jersey.
Oh,
Let me see
Hometown.
here.
That's right.
Holbrook? Holbrook, is that a town in New Jersey? It could be. I don't know.
possibly.
I want to say,
There's a lot of towns.
Can't confirm anything.
yeah,
Yeah.
no. Oh, I'm sorry, Long Island. I apologize.
Oh, okay. So New York.
Okay, yes, New York.
Awesome. Okay.
I apologize. It said it right here at the top, Long Island crime. So I guess I should have known that. All right. So a gentleman by the name of Russell Cohen, 58 years old. He's a driving instructor on Long Island. And on Saturday, he was taking 4 teens out for their driving lessons and hit multiple curbs, made many unprofessional comments, it says, cursed incessantly, and stopped for food, all while drunk. So this driving instructor was taking these 4 teens out, driving drunk, and was pulled over and arrested that same day. And I just kind of almost wanted to use this as a springboard for driving instructor stories because I have some.
Ooh.
Oh, you do?
I have a good one.
Sarah immediately raised her hand. Please let me hear.
Okay, so when I did mine, and it was in New Jersey.
Okay.
We did it all in one sitting. So the 6 hours all in one day.
Oh, wow.
Just because that was how, you know, and
Good
they
Lord.
I know. They recommend not to do that, but I was like, I don't have any other times. I'm away all next, the next whatever. I have to do it. He was like, okay, we had to stop for McDonald's 4 times.
Stop that.
I'm not joking.
You
I'm
do-
not joking. And he was telling me all about the books he read, and what we no music the whole time.
Okay.
And it was just him
6 hour-
basically talking about how he all the books he reads and 4 stops at McDonald's.
Wait,
And he's
just
like,
the 2 of you?
Oh yeah, just the 2 of us.
Okay, wait, hold on. Were you actually walk me through these stops at McDonald's though? Were you getting food or was it just rolling in the
Every
parking lot
time.
park? I mean, what was the
Oh no, we drove through and we got a burger. I can't remember exactly what he got, but it was like a burger and fries one time. I know there were nuggets in there, and the next time it was a burger again of some sort, and the next time was a burger again.
How large was this man? That's
He was not small.
okay. All right.
Yes.
And you were doing the driving. You're
I
doing
was
the
doing the
hard
driving.
work, and
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
just, I'm so
What a gig.
hungry. wow.
I mean, I don't. Maybe there was a tactic to learn how to do a drive-through. I don't know. 4 times.
Did he at least buy your food?
Oh no. I had brought food because I was I had brought snacks and stuff. So, but it just bars and stuff like that because I made it so that it was lunchtime where we started. So I'd already eaten, and then by the time we were done, it was 7 o'clock. So then I went and got dinner right after.
Well, that was your mistake. You did it around lunch.
Yeah,
that's
totally.
that's where you went
No,
wrong.
we did it after lunch. Is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh,
So
so he
you
presumably
prepared.
had lunch.
Yeah,
prior.
he might not have had lunch, but 4 times.
That's impressive.
4 times? I don't know. So
Maybe he was he doing that Monopoly kind of craze
Oh, yeah,
where,
trying to get the-
That's,
the
what,
stickers.
that's it. He was playing the game.
That's
Yeah.
it. I love how we're making excuses. Possibly.
He just wanted
don't
that
know.
Park Place piece. That's all
Right?
he
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
That's how they get you. That's how they get you.
So what service do you
Well,
have?
mine was handled through high school. So our high school coaches would do on the weekends, Saturday mornings, would do an hour or 2 worth of driving instruction, and that's how you got your credit. Then you when you took the test. So my driving instructor was a great coach. His name is Coach Lowry. Shout out Coach Lowry, and he had a couple of things about him that I will never ever forget. One, his favorite thing to do was if you were driving, he would just sort of, you just wander around, you know, like you just drive out for 7 miles and then turn around and come back or something like that. You know, it's like you would just go wherever. You go down all these back roads
Some
and stuff.
East Texas stuff, yeah.
Yeah. So you'd be driving along the kind of, not really highway, but a divided road, and he would just be like, turn here. And you'd be going 60 miles an hour and say, turn here. And we're like, well, Coach, we're going to miss every turn if you're going to keep doing that. So he would do that. We would drive him in the mornings, we'd always drive him about 20 minutes away to Grandy's, and he would get breakfast.
Nice.
So we'd sit and get breakfast at
Love
Grandy's.
Grandy's.
And then the other thing that he loved to do was to put on Disney music, which is fine, right? Everybody loves Disney music, but he would put on the Spanish version, which I'm telling you, nobody in the car, including himself, spoke Spanish. So he was just listening to the Spanish versions of Disney songs like Little Mermaid and things like that. And I'll never forget, we were driving along, and this was, a big tornado had just hit somewhere. I can't remember where, Gerald or something like that, maybe. Like an F5 tornado. It just like decimated a town, and it was on the radio. And we had the radio on this time. And the news was coming out, and it was talking about this F5 tornado. And he said, you know, that reminds me of that movie. The movie about an F5. And I was like, oh, really? And he's talking about Twister, but he goes, yeah, you know that movie Hurricane. I'm like, you're talking about a freaking tornado and you can't even come up with the right name for the movie. You call it a hurricane. But anyway, he taught me how to drive, so I was
great.
I was all good with that.
Yeah.
You know, in an instructor's defense, if someone was driving me around for a bunch of times, like I'd have them run my errands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
if
totally.
I think about
Why
it,
not?
like if I was in a car with someone else for 6 hours and we were just driving around and be like, okay, let's go to the mall, like let's go
Swing
get
by
food.
the laundromat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go to the laundromat,
Get
go to
that
the cleaners.
parking
Yeah, right?
skills.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
Not
you
only
go.
are you preparing them for learning how to drive,
Exactly.
but you're preparing them for adulthood.
That's right.
Killing two birds
Right.
with one stone.
Yeah.
I hate that saying.
Life
It's
lessons.
what you're doing.
I never had a driving instructor. Never had to do it.
Oh, really?
How'd you
yeah,
get a license?
Turns out in the state of Texas, you don't have to opt into any of that. I did. It was basically homeschooling. So yeah, I just drove around with my parents, and then I went and took the test. Like, and even then, the driving test was completely on a computer. I never had to sit in a car with any kind of instructor and do anything. Never once did I have to parallel park. I never had to do any of that, and never got in an accident. So watch out. Yeah.
Yeah, I never had to do a driving test. I think that was part of what we were doing. That was your certification, I guess, and all I had to do was go take a paper test afterwards.
Yeah.
But I never had to sit with someone from the state or the county and be like, okay, now park between these cones or do this slalom or I don't even know what it was. What it
Yeah.
would have
We
been.
all
like-
lucked
Yeah.
out. I had to do all that.
I know,
like,
me
they had,
too.
like the sticks, and you had to like back up and get in between. And
Yep.
if you touched one of the little poles, you
Or even
failed.
the curb.
Yeah, or
You're
even the
gone.
curb. You had to do like the K turn, the parallel, like
Oh,
the
yeah.
signaling, the driving backwards, all that stuff.
I was
Plus
stressed
the-
out about it.
Plus
I-
the 6 hours.
Yeah,
we had to
I thought
do.
that was going to happen, but we went and it was just like, okay, you passed the test. Here you go.
Wow.
you know how to turn right.
Yeah,
Like-
I did.
I had to do my driving test here because I did it in Portugal when I was 18, and then I got here and I wasn't able to just surrender my Portuguese driving license. I had to do everything.
Oh wow.
And so we had to go all the way to not Granbury. Was it Granbury? Anyway, like
Could have been.
an hour and a half away from Dallas.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And people were so nice. The first thing this lady tells me is like, "You're from Dallas? Yeah, I've been to medieval times." And I'm like, okay, all right, I think we're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. But just so you know, Texas actually has some agreements with some countries. So my husband Diego, who is French, lucky man, all he needed to do was literally surrender his French driving license, and they just issued him one.
Oh, that's nice.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
I'm like,
That's the way to go.
that's so easy.
That's the way to do it.
So easy.
That's tremendous.
So yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah, stories.
Yeah, Sarah, what do you got for us today?
All right, let's get after it. Speaking of weather, when you were talking tornado,
Yeah.
perfect segue.
Hurricane.
Yeah, weather is leading our news this morning. Tropical Storm Michael has updated into a hurricane. And according to ABC News, it'll be a Category 3 when it makes landfall in Florida midweek. So yesterday, the Florida governor declared a state of emergency in 26 counties all around the Panhandle. And FEMA has prepped and is ready for its arrival as well. All of this, as of this morning, Michael had winds of 70 miles per hour and was about 50 miles west of Cuba as it makes its way toward us.
So is that where it's supposed to hit? Is the western part of
Panhandle area?
Okay.
Yeah. So they're prepping for it. They're ready. Well, and in case you were busy watching football this weekend, keep your mind off politics. I'll tell you a little bit about what happened in politics. Mid-sexual assault allegations, Judge Brett Kavanaugh was confirmed by the Senate and is officially the 114th Supreme Court Justice. According to Fox News, the vote was 50-48, mostly along party lines. This after the full FBI investigation concluded no evidence could corroborate the accuser's claims. And the swearing-in ceremony is set to take place this evening.
Anybody want to jump in with a hot Brett Kavanaugh joke? Because I got a couple, but I feel like I shouldn't. I should just let that slide. So yeah, it's fine.
Might want to let that one go.
Yeah. I'll just let that pass me by. It's fine.
Well, I believe there was, I think, one Democrat that voted to confirm. Is that right?
And there was one Republican who was going to vote no, but ended up voting present because someone else was away at his daughter's wedding.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
Well,
it all shakes out.
All I can say is Kavanaugh today, Democrats.
I
don't know.
All right. Well, that's my.
Yeah. Okay. No, I like it.
It works. Well, moving on, there are still questions surrounding the limousine crash that left 20 dead this weekend in New York. It was filled with 17 people who were celebrating going on their way to an upstate New York brewery, 4 of which were sisters. There were newlyweds on there. According to CNN, the limo ran through a stop sign and crashed into a parked SUV, causing the, quote, deadliest U.S. transportation accident in almost a decade.
Wow.
All 17 passengers died, as well as the driver and 2 pedestrians who were actually just walking in that area. New York police say they're not sure if the driver was speeding, if the brakes just weren't working, or if people just weren't wearing their seatbelts. So NTSB is still investigating, and there's so, like...
Right.
I was researching a bunch of different articles,
Yeah.
and everyone says pretty much the same thing. They have no idea why that happened.
Right? I mean,
Wow.
Are you really meant to be wearing a seat? Are there any seat
In a
belts
limo,
in a limo?
right?
Yeah.
Or do you even think of putting on a I don't think anytime I've ever rode in a limo, I...
No.
Ooh, you had
Admission
some
of guilt here.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't. Well, one, just the amount of people that were in there. It's a big limo. It was one of those excursion limos, so it was large, but still, that's a lot of people that were in there. And I was talking to somebody about it, and this was not meant derogatorily, but it was just like this was. The more you read about it, the more like almost stereotypically tragic it was. It was just like 2 pairs of newlyweds, and they had little kids at home,
sisters,
and like a family, and it was crazy. So yeah, that's terrible.
And they were doing the saddest part is they were going to a brewery and doing the right thing and taking other transportation.
Right.
You know what I mean? It just, I don't know. It's sad.
Yeah.
And how fast, like, how does that happen? I don't know.
I don't know.
Clearly they don't know either.
Especially when it's a parked car and it's not like somebody else hitting
Right.
the limo.
Exactly.
Right. You didn't run a light. You ran a stop sign, man. Like a light changes. Stop sign's always there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, come on.
Well, that, and even if someone had T-boned them, I could understand it more, but running into a parked car?
How fast do they have to go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. A lot of questions. Well, tough transition here. Moving on to a bit of a lighter note. 639 pianists from 8 countries played in unison in China to break a world record. So according to UPI, they were breaking a Guinness World Record for most pianos played in unison. The last time the record was broken was in 2007, which had 555 pianos played.
We've got a video. Does this have audio, Matt? Do you know?
It does. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let me see if I can cut to that. That one. That's not the computer fader. There it is.
And it sounds pretty.
That's not bad. Just the number of the beast there.
Yeah, I was looking at that.
Yes, 639 people, but
It says
Six,
six.
six, yeah,
You'd
it
think
is.
it would,
Yeah.
would spell out the right number, right? If that's what they were going for, I don't know.
maybe those like all these people couldn't commit to coming,
Right.
or they weren't good enough.
So my question is, if you're one of these people playing the piano, are you actually playing the piano? Like if you're one of these people?
What, you think they're church choiring this? Like they're not actually playing?
A little bit, yeah. Like why wouldn't you? You just sort of like you're not. No one's gonna know if you're
Sure.
not playing correctly.
Yeah, that's
if you
valid.
just
Well,
sort of
but
like
they do
kind of-
have
Place the fingers.
Guinness World Record professionals checking everything.
Are they going around to each?
Yeah.
Probably.
So I took part in the Frida Kahlo world record in the DMA last year, I think. Well, I took part. I was in the line, and then at some point they're like, "You guys, you know what? We already broke the record, so just gonna send everybody out." And that was really frustrating. But yeah, they have like tables, and as you have to go and register, and they kind of like take your details and check whatever the requirements are. So you could see some people like kind of walking around. So I guess they have to check that is happening.
Yeah.
They definitely have people checking every single thing, and then you submit. You don't know the day you submit that for referral, and then they have proof and everything, and then they would say yes, it was a broken record or not.
So wait, you were in line to do this, and they said no, we don't need you anymore
Yeah.
because we just.
How
Why
dumb
don't you
is
just run
that?
up the scoreboard, right?
Why
Like
wouldn't?
what-
Yeah,
yeah.
I would. I
Tough
feel like
that
as
out.
an organizer, why wouldn't they just do that?
They were just because they were first. This is what really annoyed me. They're like, "Oh, we did not expect all these people to dress up as Frida Kahlo." I mean, come on, guys, really?
That's
You
what
had a
you were doing.
contest.
Yeah, they were really. They were like, this was just to join, you know, the Guinness Book Records, but they didn't expect all these hundreds of people to just come over, and it was like families, like grandmas and sisters and aunts and cousins. This was insane, and they were like, "Yeah, sorry guys, we just expected some like maybe like 200 people to show up, but these was probably like 1,000 that were there."
I think there's a scam here.
It was so upsetting.
I think there's a scam here.
I put so much effort in my monobrow.
Okay, wait. Do you have a picture?
Yes.
Can we
Have
see
a
it?
picture
Oh.
and have
I
them-
can't
yeah.
find
Can we get it on
probably.
stream? Is that?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, can we
it's
throw
on
it
my
on stream?
Facebook, but hang on.
I was gonna be, but I think like I'm telling you, there's something weird about this because like why wouldn't you just say if you were if the world record was 200, but you had 1,000 people show up, so just make it 1,000, right?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
then nobody's gonna be able to break your record.
Well, that's what I'm saying though.
Then you have a record for longer.
But no, what happens then is you got somebody that says, well, I can do 201, and then you go, all right, well they get the world record for a little bit, and then we're gonna do 202. And we're just going to keep this thing going. We're going to keep milking this for publicity.
It's a plot.
Somebody's in the pocket of Big Guinness. That's
Yeah,
what that is.
exactly. Exactly. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, there's something fishy about
It's
this.
a scam.
Yep.
Oh, there
All
you go. I found it.
Oh, did you?
Yay. Can she hold it up to the camera?
I wanna
go-
I wonder if that'll work.
I'm looking
Alright.
for it here. I don't.
I found it. Right.
Okay.
Hang on. Bear with me.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
very exciting.
I'm so excited.
What is this? No, don't show him
Wait,
first.
wait,
Hold on.
wait,
Show
wait,
him.
wait.
The internet is watching. Stop that.
No, they don't even see it.
Okay, wait. I think I have that here. I do. Yeah, hold on.
You
I can
do?
pull that up. Give me a
All
second.
right, let's see it up.
Yeah, let's.
There
it
we
is.
go.
That's
There it is.
Yes.
Oh, that looks awesome.
Well done. That looks
Yes.
good. I
So
like
this
your
is
shawl.
my friend with her mom, her sister, and her niece. And
Yeah.
it was so like we were for like 2 hours waiting in line, and then they did allow us to go and actually take photos in the area where the world record was taking
Yeah.
place.
I dig the flower crown game. That's good
Oh,
stuff.
that was the
Yeah, well
requirement.
done.
Right
You
up
had to
there,
have
well
a
done.
shawl, a red shawl or a pink shawl, then a dress or a skirt that had flowers, and then the little. Oh my God, are we going? Yeah.
No. I'm not, that
no,
wasn't
go
on
back.
stream.
No,
I
keep
swear.
going,
I
keep
didn't
going.
actually show that. That's fine. The rest of the world doesn't have to see that. It's great.
I mean, I guess that if that's on the internet,
I was
yeah.
appreciating like all the other Fridas
and,
back
and
here.
there
Yeah,
were
you could
so
see 'em.
many incredible
Yeah.
people dressed up. It was insane. It was
Huh.
really
That brow is on
talented.
point, by the way.
Yeah, what
yeah.
did you do? Well,
Yeah.
how did you do that? Was that
Also-
makeup or was that?
I just it was makeup. I just had strokes. I did strokes with a pencil.
It looks legit from
Yep.
here.
Yeah,
it
I,
really
It
does.
really does.
Yeah, that
I
looks
was
great.
kind of like a bit scared because it looked very realistic.
Yeah, it's good.
Well,
Yeah.
now you know what you'd look like if you had a unibrow.
Exactly.
And that's what's the
You
most
ever want to go
important
with
here.
that look?
You
That's
could
what we
pull
need.
that off. You really could.
Yeah.
I did a unibrow one time. It did not look good, and I didn't do it as good as yours. So that's bad.
Next
Well-
time you want one, you'll have to have Anna do it
Yeah,
for you.
yeah.
done.
I'll be here for
Your
you,
next
girl.
night out.
Take care of it. All right, Sarah, thank you for coming
Thanks
in.
for having me, guys.
I say we have one more story to do, which is where not to go to the bathroom on an airplane. We'll have that coming up here, and then I guess that'll probably be it because we're already past our allotted time.
A handful, yeah, a little bit.
All right, so we'll take a quick break and let Sarah go back to work, and we will do that one last story again. Where should you not go to the bathroom on an airplane? I bet you can guess. Pretty much anywhere except for the lavatories. But anyway, we'll talk about that coming up here on the lunch break on RNCN.
And I want you to join. It's called the Junior Vampires of America. I mean, you'll hear scary monster stories. Now, to call, you got to ask your parents' permission and call this phone number, 1-900-909-4300. You'll hear all about my monster friends, learn how to get a free vampire patch and a list of special vampire tricks and secrets. So call 1-900-909-4300. Learn how to scare your friends, even yourself. Join Grandpa's Junior Vampires of America Club, and I will make you a junior vampire.
Hey kids, call 1-900-909-4300. That's 1-900-909-4300 to hear Grandpa's scary stories and join the Junior Vampires Club. Just $2 the first minute, 45 cents each additional. Ask Mom or Dad first.
Hey kids,
I
I'll
love
be a
it.
junior vampire. How many of you don't want a junior vampire patch right now? A free junior vampire
I want
patch?
one so bad. Sign me up. That sounds great. Gosh.
I feel like those. Did you ever call a 900 number when you were a kid? Was that a thing?
Probably on accident. Oh,
Wait,
hey.
wait.
Oh, there we go.
That's your mic. I
There
got
we go.
it. I did it. It's
Good
fine.
job. I think I did when Nickelodeon was doing like that whole Saturday Night Nick thing, and they had like the Halloween specials, and you'd call it. I think that was the only time I did that.
I feel like 900 numbers were made to prey on children.
Yeah.
I think because
Sure.
Oh, definitely.
especially some of these. There's some others which we'll probably get to on a later date, or we'll have to. But like they just seem directed, especially that one was directed right at a kid, saying, "Hey, just dial the phone." And it says, "Get your parents' permission," as if any child ever
Yeah.
went to their parent was like, "Can I please call this 900 number that costs $1 a minute so I can talk to Grandpa Munster and be a junior vampire.
Yeah, there's nothing in there that indicates any kind of point of sale or money, but clearly, like, there's, free vampire patch. Like,
Yeah.
it makes it seem like it costs you nothing.
Right.
It's a slick scam.
It is. It's a pretty good scam.
Yeah.
So this final story for today, this comes to us from the Instagram account Passenger Shaming, which is a great Instagram. I'm gonna have to start following them.
Yeah, or maybe not, because it will frustrate you, or
Probably.
like, make you kind of afraid of flying.
I'll say in the last couple weeks, I took 3 flights. Well, like one connecting flight and one direct flight back to Dallas, and I didn't have any problems. I didn't have any. The security line was very long in Seattle. I didn't think I was going to make the flight, but I did with like 5 minutes to spare. But other than that, it was relatively low key. There was no smelly person on the plane. There was no babies crying. There were a couple of babies, but they were relatively quiet.
Well, you know what they say, right? Like, if there's no smelly person on the plane,
you're the
smelly person.
I definitely had that. I definitely had that moment where I was coming back and I just sat down and the plane was about to pull out from the whatever the gate.
Yeah.
And I just leaned my head back, and then I realized about 10 minutes later that I'd fallen asleep for a little while. I'm like, oh gosh, I was the guy with like my mouth hanging open and just like snoring probably or something in the middle of this.
bit.
Right.
That's right.
Just, everybody's looking at me like, gosh, I'm gonna have to deal with this guy for the rest of the flight. So I did my best to stay awake for the rest of the time, but otherwise it was relatively easy. Nothing like this happened, which it doesn't say where, what airline this was, and it doesn't say where they were going. But basically, a parent had they had a young child with them, and they had brought one of those like training toilets.
Like a portable potty.
Yeah.
What, they brought it as a carry-on?
Yeah, they had it with them.
Okay.
And mid-flight, they set it out in the aisle of the airplane and let the kid use the restroom in the middle of the airplane, just right in the middle in the aisle. And I don't know, did you find that link? The
email.
The email link.
Let me go look in.
Okay.
Give me a minute. Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah. So this kid, I mean, there's a picture of it right here. It's taken from, it's like at a cockeyed angle where this kid is literally just sitting in the middle of the airplane.
No.
Going to the bathroom.
Can I show this on stream?
I
like,
think
I know
so.
it's blurred.
Everything's blurred. Yeah. I think it's okay.
I mean, all right. This is.
Yeah. There it is.
All right. My God.
So yeah, you can see backstory. Parent brings own potty seat on board, sets it in aisle mid-flight to have the child use in front of everyone. And when discovered by the crew, was advised she couldn't do this and would need to utilize one of the unoccupied lavatory, which makes perfect sense. Her reply was, "I don't give an S,"
Oh, damn.
which is kind of great, on brand, I think, for what was going on here.
Yeah.
I don't. This has got to be. I've been on some annoying flights, but I have never seen anything to this level of ridiculousness. Maybe someone like clipping their fingernails or something on a flight. I've seen that happen, but this is another step beyond.
Yeah.
I would have to think.
Like,
Go ahead.
I gotta say, like, what this person, takes a child, sits down, and like, how are you gonna empty this? Like, you don't think like 2 steps ahead. Just what's the purpose of doing it there on the aisle versus in the bathroom itself?
I didn't even think of the emptying thing. Like,
Yeah.
are they gonna carry it out full?
Right.
I didn't even think about that.
That was my first thought. It's like, oh, you're gonna wiggle it around if there's turbulence and stuff. Like, what is it? This person is insane. It's more work for you, if anything, besides the point
But
that
think
it's
about
obviously
think about what
stupid.
they're teaching their child, Anna. Come on,
I
that's
know.
what's important.
Besides the obvious, that was just my point. Was like, this is non-logical. Besides the point, the biggest point here, which is, what was this person thinking? It's disgusting. It's like, are we going back to medieval times when people just throw buckets out the window?
See, I know as a society we should never embrace like a mob mentality, but in the case of something like this, like somebody should stand up in the back of the plane and go, hold up, can we just, everybody in here, can we all acknowledge nobody's okay with this, right?
Yeah.
Like, can everybody just real quick, like, no, not trying to point any one person out.
This was an
Let's
act
all
of
get
terrorism.
together, and point out, this isn't okay.
Yeah.
Like, this is bad. My God.
And look, those those lavatories on planes are small, and I don't know. I assume there has to be some sort of procedure for when you're taking a young child to the bathroom, especially if they're a small kid who may not, fit on the seat correctly or whatever, I have to assume, this is me just thinking that someone must have thought of this before me, but there has to be a way, like some sort of seat or something that the flight crew can put there for your child to use the restroom. This can't be the first time that this happened.
Right.
So
You just hold your kid.
I guess.
Or if worse comes to worse, at least go to the bathroom, leave the door open back there, and have the seat, like the little potty thing on the ground. That way it's at least out of sight, out of mind for most of the people.
Just tell one of the people there, say, hey, my kid needs to go to the restroom. They use this. Can we just do this back here? And you just watch. Or
Make sure nobody walks up. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. I don't mean to make a call for like discriminatory practices. That's not what I'm going for here. But hear me out. If there was an airline, all right, that existed that had a flat rule across the board that was like, on our airline, it costs a little extra than all the others, right? It's a premium airline. There are never kids under like 15.
Yes.
Ever. I'd be like, sign me up. I'll take a membership, please. I'll take it. I never want to deal with it. I don't. It's nothing against like kids. It's being in a small confined space with a bunch of people and kids. That's the issue. Like it's just a lot. It's just a lot.
Zach, you're cute.
I am.
You know why?
I'm
Because
adorable.
the majority of issues I had were actually with adults when flying.
True.
So for me, I don't see that.
No
that
way.
Would be
I'd take any problem with an adult versus like a crying infant on a plane every time. Like no way.
Well, yeah, the crying infant thing is if it's
can't do it.
I would say maybe kids under I don't know 7 or 8, because at that point
maybe.
you could probably reason with them and be like, hey, knock it off.
Sure.
That's the problem. That's the problem with like a young baby is if they're crying, you can't just be like, yo, stop it. Like keep yourself in check for the next 3 hours. We're on a flight with a bunch of people. So yeah, I would have to say something like that. I would do that. I'd fly that in a heartbeat.
I just wish, this is this thing about like societal constructions, right? We have to. I know I'm rambling about society, but hear me out. Nobody could just stand up and look at the flight attendant and just announce to the plane, hey. Anybody gonna do anything about this? Like, this is a problem. Look what's happening right now. If that kid was 20 years older, he'd be a felon. Like, this isn't all right. This isn't okay.
What do you do at that point, though? She's got you in checkmate, right? Like, if she's not willing to be like, oh gosh, I'm sorry, I didn't even think about it. I was out of my, I had to do something.
Yeah.
She clearly, judging from her response, she was like, yeah, I
know this is wrong.
I know. I don't care. So yeah, what do? You're dealing with a mad person at that point, and you have to, I don't know, you're being held hostage, I think.
I'll be bold and I'll say ban them from the airline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think once they land, to be like, okay, we need to.
Yeah, you're done.
Yeah.
You're brown bread. You can't fly here anymore.
Yeah. That's disgusting. Ugh. No.
It's bad. Not to mention just like the idea of. You know what? Don't worry about it. I'll just move on. No. It's fine.
All right. Well, if we can leave you with one piece of parting advice, don't go to the bathroom in the middle of the aisle on an airplane, please.
Even if your parents tell you.
Even if they say it's okay.
Yep.
Even if you brought your own toilet with you, please don't do it.
It's not okay.
This has been the lunch break. I'll run a little music here underneath us to make it sound really good as we go out. Yeah. It is late. We have a meeting to go to, I think. So pray for us.
Are we going to that? Is that something we're all doing?
I guess so. I don't know.
I've got post-production to work.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, maybe not all of us are going, but some of us are going. So please, thoughts and prayers.
Post-production meeting lunch.
Yeah, I was about to say that sounds like a great excuse, Zach.
I have been Matt, your host for today. Anna in studio, Christina in studio, Zach in the booth.
Bye.
That's the crew. That's the only crew you need.
Don't
think about anybody else. Thank you for Sarah Strackhouse for coming in and filling us in on the news. We'll be back at some point later in the week, maybe Friday. I don't know. We'll find out. This has been The Lunch Break on RNCN.